Good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, and it's time for another edition of BOOKWARD BOUND, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And that done is the completion of a brand new book by January 1st of 2021. Or at least the press-ready files will be uploaded on January 1st to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will be, in fact, self-publishing a brand new book. And that book is called something like, you've actually seen it, right there, there's the cover. The book itself is called NONFICTION BRAND, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. Yep, and that's what I'm here to work on tonight, is actually getting this puppy written, because it's not going to write itself. And that's why I'm here. Sorry, a little bit of camera confusion there. Am I on camera, my Ecamm or my Bcam? Ecamm, Bcam. Sometimes I'm not sure, but now I am. I'm on my Bcam, so I'm talking to you here. Sorry, a little panic there. All right, so every night I come down here for my consecutive live streams to move my book forward in one form or another. Some nights I'm outlining and mind mapping the book. Other nights I'm designing, like you've already seen the cover design there. Some nights I'm editing, and some nights I'm actually writing. And tonight I came down here with no plan whatsoever, other than, I guess maybe I'll take a look at this. I'm going to take you on over to Scrivener, which is the application I'm using to actually write this bad boy. And you can see right there, there's the main window where you actually do the writing. And then over here, this is the section where you've got all the chapters and stuff like that. So you'll notice that I've got colored flags, and these colored flags actually have meaning. So right here, where my cursor is, you can see that I've got a green flag for a section called "So Why Are You on the Cover of the Book?" which is a good question, and certainly what I explain in that section. And you'll notice it's green. It's completely green. What does that mean? Well, it means it's completely written. It means it's been proofed at least one time all the way through and found to be pretty solid, and therefore I awarded it the green flag of completeness so that I can stop worrying about it and focus on other sections. Like the next one, The Birth of Brand. This section, it has been written, I can tell that because it's got a blue flag. That means I think it's pretty much finished when it comes to writing. But it has not received any type of editing or proofreading at this point, so that's why it gets a blue flag. Down here, you see the yellow, got to move that up so you can see it. There's a yellow flag for a penchant for Plaid, which is this section right here, featuring the lovely and talented J Bear. That gets a yellow flag because right now that means you've done a lot of writing in this section, but is it really finished yet? I don't know. And that's what I'm going to find out tonight. And then finally, the red sections, I haven't done anything in that yet. So you can see the red flags are the ones I need to work on the most, which is why I avoid them the most as well. Yeah, that's just the way I roll. However, tonight I'm going to take a look at this section and see if I can't get it finished to the point where I can award it at least a blue flag for completeness. And then I'll probably give it a day just to kind of marinate before I come back and actually proofread and edit it, because I want to look at it with really, really fresh eyes. However, I got to get this thing moving, so what am I going to do? I'm going to read this aloud, because that's the way I test my copy. I like my copy to be very vocal. Therefore, I vocalize it by reading it aloud. And that way, if I stumble over something, that's because it needs to be rewritten so it flows. Get it? If you stub your toe on a rock, the best thing to do is take that rock and get it out of the road, and then you can walk along smoothly. All right, so I'm going to read this aloud, so bear with me and enjoy if you're so inclined. A penchant for Plaid. J Bear, lovely man that he is, has a chronic condition over which he has no apparent control. The dude just cannot get enough plaid. So much so, If you happen to see the man, if you happen to see a man strolling down the street, if you happen to see a man strolling down a street or hallway wearing a colorfully loud plaid suit, it's probably him. And I'm not kidding. Down here, see, I told you Jay liked his suits a little loud. And they are, which makes him very easy to find in any crowd. Makes him very easy to find in any crowd. Plaid, because this whole section is about plaid. Dang it. Plaid and proud. And they are, which makes him very easy to find in any crowd. Before we go into too deep a discussion about the package, let's get a brief sample of the man inside. For a complete look, head over to his website at https://jbear.com about Jay. Jay's written a bunch of New York Times bestsellers, NYT bestsellers, including my fave, Talk Triggers. He's a highly sought-after speaker and an inductee into both the word-of-mouth marketing and professional speakers halls of fame. I think there's an extra space. His Convince and Convert empire is instrumental in identifying trends and leading the conversation in a number of marketing sectors. Oh, and he does podcasts too, including the popular Social Pros and Standing Ovation podcasts. Social Pros, don't need a comma there, and Standing Ovation podcasts, and the Talk Triggers video show. Busy? Yes, he is. Just as busy as the fabrics in his signature bespoke suits. And that brings us back to the packaging, those Technicolor test patterns he so loves to wear. He so loves to wear. While not every personal brand goes to the extreme, Mr. Bear does when it comes to visual branding. And most fully realized personal brands have some specific design, typography, and color palette cues that differentiate it from its competitors. But with Mr. Bear, it's all about the suit. Just head over to his jbear.com, www.jbear.com website, and you'll see what I mean in spades. The guy is continually walking a tightrope between cool and classless, and I'm happy to say that, in my opinion, he never falls off. His signature plaid suits are beyond legendary. I'd call them epic, but only because of the strategy behind them. I had a feeling there was a lot of there regarding his style of suit, so I was thrilled to have Jay on the Nonfiction Brand podcast recently. We talked specifically about his suit strategy, and I was amazed at how deep and well thought out it was. It all has to do, I don't need an and, I can just go it. All has to do with consistency and getting bored by being consistent. And getting bored of being consistent. And this is an actual verbatim quote that he did. What everybody else does is they pick a topic and they write 11 books about that topic over the next 20 years. You, Jay, write a new book every 3 years. How come? Because I get bored. I need to put a colleague said you come out with it, write a new book every 3 years. How come? Because I get bored. I'm interested in doing a lot of things from a personal brand standpoint that can actually be, and from a personal brand standpoint that can actually get to be a bit problematic, which is one of the reasons why I try and stick to my knitting, no pun intended, with the suit thing, right? That I'm always wearing a plaid suit when I'm in public. That I'm always wearing a plaid suit when I'm in public because I know I can stay with that element. Now, that's sort of a frivolity. It's just window dressing. It really doesn't speak to my... It really doesn't speak to my value as an expert, what have you, but people remember it. And the reason I started wearing the plaid suits all the time was because I wanted to have something meeting planners. I wanted to have something meeting planners. I wanted to have something meeting planners. I wanted to have something meeting. I wanted. Oh, that's what it was. I wanted something meeting planners to have a story to tell about other than just, let me say that. And the reason I started wearing the plaid suits all the time was because I wanted something meeting planners. Something meeting. I wanted something. Could see you tell a story about other than just he gave a speech. The speech was good. NONFICTION BRAND podcast number 2. That is just so damn smart. Unlike other personal brands that embrace an uncommon hair color or other obnoxious look at me style, Jay's plaid suits are continually changing while remaining continually brand aligned. When I asked him about this, he said something that made my jaw drop. I don't know if you know the story, DP. So the way we do it, it's not just me wearing a plaid suit, right? And I've got a bunch of them. When a meeting planner books me to give a presentation, offline or now online video presentation, they get a link to a website, and you can go there right now. It's dressjbear.com. Get rid of the link. Hold on. We built this little app, and you can pick out what suit you want me to wear at your event, and it goes on my calendar, and I make sure to wear that suit. JBear. And yes. Build a bear for your next event, conference, or meeting. And I'm going to give that yes, dressjbear.com exists. Here's screenshot proof. Too bad this book is printed in black and white. The colors are amazing. Did you hear that? Listen to the whole 2 episodes. Listen to Jay's 2 episodes now. He's got a website that allows event planners to specify what suit he should be wearing when he speaks for the event. So flippin' smart. He told me that by the time the event booker had reached that point in the conversation, the conversation was not about how much he charged or what he should talk about, but what day he'll be there and what suit he should wear. He should wear, not WH. Duh. This is why you need a proof. And what suit he should be wearing for the presentation. And get this. He's gotten big dollar bookings because of one event booker talking to another, not about how good he is or his topic expertise, but because of his Dress J Bear website. How cool is that? Question mark. In my mind, Jay Baer has visually branded himself to a level very few have reached. Think about it. Who else has a look that is so completely tied to the person themselves that you'd be able to recognize them across an airport concourse? Seriously. Seriously, the only characters more visually branded than Jay Baer are citizens of the Marvel or DC Comics universes. Is visually branding yourself a personal branding superpower? If you ask me, read Jay Baer, the answer is yes. Should you be thinking about visually branding your personal brand? Without a doubt, yes. Your web presence should have a distinct logo, color, and graphic styling that never varies. Maybe you've got a signature look or feature that distinguishes you from all others. Remember the late great country singer Johnny Cash? What was his universally known nickname? The Man in Black. Why? What did he wear? What did he wear during to every single concert, public gathering, or TV appearance? Yep, black clothing in a variety of styles. In a variety of, I'm going to say, countrified styles. Do you need to invest in a whole new wardrobe to brand yourself as effectively as Johnny Cash or Jay Baer? No, you do not. For there are many different ways to visually brand yourself, as this true story about my friend Neil Schaefer proves. If you're the only one following the rules, maybe it's time to break them. I have adopted Social Media Marketing World in San Diego as the one conference that I will gladly pay top dollar to attend. I have learned so much from so many there that it's become my must-go-to for new ideas, energy, contacts, and inspiration. This past year, 2020, was no exception, and I was able to attend mind-expanding sessions with the likes of Rory Vaden, Melanie Diesel, Park Howell, Ann Hanley, Paul Raimondo, Pat Flynn, and more. One of my favorite presentations was by my friend Neil Schaefer on the topic of influencer marketing, how to maximize your ROI. Having already attended a number of sessions, I was intrigued to see that Neil's presentation was fully branded with the colors, typography, and graphic styling of the conference itself. Why? Because none of the other speakers did. I had to ask why. Why? I had to know, because none of the other speakers did the same. The final night of the conference, I had the opportunity to talk with Neil, and I asked him about his brand versus conference brand visual look. He told me that the conference required speakers to use their PowerPoint template. I said, that's funny. No one else used it. And went on to give him my 2 cents regarding how it was in the conference's best interest to be a house of brands rather than a branded house. But in this case, a house of brands is about you eat what we serve you, but a branded house is about serving up the best of the best. But wait a minute then. I don't like that. The whole house of brands, branded house thing is all about maximizing brand value. But it's always a question of which brand. In the case of Neil, I passionately advocated for him to maximize his personal brand visually via every slide in his presentation. As I explained to him, we were already at the conference venue. So how did it benefit either him or the conference organizer to make his presentation look like every other presentation at the event? And actually, the event benefited greatly from having a variety of recognizable personal brands that worked collectively to elevate the event's brand by highlighting the quality and diversity of its speakers. This making sense to you? If not, just answer this question. Which supermarket is more valuable to you as a grocery buyer? The one with only store brands, or the one with a vast variety of best-in-class brands in every category? For most people, the supermarket with the best of the best is far more attractive and valuable. So my question for Neil was, why would you ever want to package yourself as a store brand? That was a pretty provocative thing to ask someone who had just did exactly as he was at. That was a pretty provocative thing to ask of someone who just did exactly as he was asked by the event organizers. But hey, that's my brand. And guess what? Neil contacted me several weeks after the event to collaborate on creating a fully Neil Schaefer branded look and feel for his presentations. He realized that what he was doing as a nice thing for the event actually weakened his personal brand in the long term. Once he heard that no other speakers at the event were using the requested template, he jumped at the chance to enhance his brand while actually doing the same for the event's brand at the same time. A conference of house brands is nowhere as near as interesting, diverse, attractive, or valuable as one that embraces a house of brands, a house of best of brands approach. And I knew we were onto something very good when Neil relayed an event booker's response to his new and improved presentation look. Wow, that's really branded. Why, yes, it is. And the brand is Neil Schaefer's. Let's say it again. If you don't own it, it's not yours. But your personal brand, including the visual packaging of it, that's 100% yours. So own it. And own it big time. All right. I think that's cool. I'm feeling okay with that for now. So I'm going to have to go through and read this again, but I am going to change the icon from yellow, meaning you've done some writing but not completed it, to blue, which means you've completed this section. Now it needs to be proofread and edited a little bit more closely. So that's cool for tonight. Let's just take a little check here. I like to do this periodically just to see, because one of the things Scrivener does is, you'll see down here at the bottom, it'll tell you how many words are in a section. Like this page, if I just highlight this, it'll tell you 17 words. Big deal. Well, the big deal is that if I go from all the way bio at the back of the book to the title page, this will tell me how many cumulative words I've gotten to date. And then I pull out my calculator because I can't do the math in my head. That's 38,000 words. So 38,364 divided by 300 words a page, generally 127 pages. And that doesn't even include the photos that I've started to put in and stuff like that. So 137, is that how many pages I just looked up? 127. Oh, 0.88, so I'm calling it 128. 128 pages of a book that I hope to be 250 pages. Guess what? I'm over halfway done. Yay! How cool is that? Well, it's cool because I'm actually getting this stuff done because of you. I made a promise to you and to myself that I was going to actually come down here and work on this every single night for 301 consecutive days. And guess what? This is episode 135, which means I have 166 days to go. I'm not even halfway. I'm getting there, though. I'm rapidly closing in on halfway there. So that's going to be a very interesting day, because all of a sudden I'm going to go. Right now I'm saying, oh, I'm halfway through the book. That's pretty good. Once I reach halfway in terms of days left to go, I'm going to start freaking out a little bit. So I need you to help me through that by forcing me to continue to come down here to work on this book. And so that's what I'm going to do every single night for a total of 301 days. And by the way, that 301st day is December 31st of 2020. The next day, that's when the press-ready files go up to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where the book will be self-published by me, yours truly, your host. How cool is that? Thank you so much for helping me out. I'm DP Knudten with the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. In fact, this whole section that I just read to you about Jay Baer, well, guess what? Today's guest and last week's guest was Jay Baer. So go and look up Nonfiction Brand wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Nonfiction Brand and look for my picture in black and white. It's looking like this. Hi. And you will be able to get the podcast for free wherever you get your fine podcasts for free. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, any of your client, your iOS or Android clients, like I use Overcast to get my podcasts. You can find it just by searching Nonfiction Brand. Then go listen to episodes 99 and 100 of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, and you will hear the conversation that I had and talked about tonight with Jay Baer. And let me tell you, Jay Baer is someone who is, he is not currently in your orbit or your universe and you aren't following him, you need to, because he's really smart, really fun, and what a fantastic sharer of information as well. So anyway, enough about him and enough about me. I'm out of here for tonight, and I will see you tomorrow. Until then, theme music, take us on out. I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.